Musa, Billboard za Safaricom. Nini umeona unasikia?
Wewe unaenda unafanya vitu zako, unakuja unaambia design zako hazina soul.
Most design school, they teach the basics of design, they don't teach the business part.
Ukifanya designs za anything to do with marketing, wewe una request for sit down with marketing team kama uko nayo, ama unaangalia hido ifanye hii job by Tuesday kwa nani?
Basic item that we in engineering architectural design ignore is simplicity. You make the design simple for the client and for the user. It's easy peasy.
Karibuni tena to Kenyan Design Conversations. Hii ni space ya Mad Vibes, Design Arts na zile real talks za kudesign, kudevelop na kulevel up maisha yako in style. Ko hapa kukuchanua while continuously upgrading each other, and also ni place ya kuchallenge our own personal beliefs. I know you know that, right?
Hi guys, karibuni to the Kenyan Design Conversation. Leo tunaongelea design basics most designers skip or ignore. Musa, Billboard za Safaricom. Nini umeona umeskip? Ninaambia wewe ni critic mbaya. Ama ni si lazima school box na Safaricom.
I think the biggest issue that we have nowadays mostly in billboards inakuanga ni hierarchy. Sometimes you can't blame the designer, you blame the client, because most clients think they're designers and they want you to do something that pleases them rather than targeting the market. Because it's the message that you're putting out there you want people to look at so that they can either come to your company or they can get your product or your services. So if you skip those small things like hierarchy, what do you want people to see first? And I've realized in Kenyan market, mostly those are the things that tunakonga shida nayo. I'm also part of a victim of that. You see, sema timi ni perfect. No, I'm also a victim of that. Unapata like kama ni hierarchy, inategemea watu wanza kusoma. Unajua sisi kama those guys who read the Arabics wanna read from inakuwa the opposite of what
From left to right.
Yeah. So for us inategemea how are you going to drive your market, how they see the billboard.
Yep.
Are they going to start from left to right or right to left? Depending on which. Yeah.
Drive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And for billboards, mostly, depending on where it has been placed, kama niko highway, they are technically 100%, they are not targeting on you, the person you're walking. They are targeting people on cars. So, when it comes to, like, mostly billboard, I think we need to consider hierarchy first before we do something else.
Nice. Well, tumekuwa sausage fest hapa for some time. Our lovely Chantel amekuwa MIA. Nataka leo wapeka soft voice kidogo wasikie kuna kabalance. Design basics. Is it something you are aware of? Ama ni kick the ball and kasonge kaende?
Oh, it's not something, it's something that I'm aware of. And then tukistick hapo kwa hiyo example ya billboard, a design principle that is basic sometimes naonanga ikikuwa ignored ni I feel like the designer ha consider this is si ati mtu atasimama hapo apaka gari some whatever is there. So unapata kuna hiyo aspect ya font anatumia, the size ni ndogo, and then pia kuna overcrowd billboard. So unashangaa utaangalia right, uangalie left na uko kwa gari unasonga. So I feel like kuna billboards zenye ziko na something simple but you'll get the message. Ningetumia example but sijika tutasema hawajalipia yes. No, like mentioning a brand.
Yes, mention.
Oh, like Thika Road, sometime back hapo karibu na Mathare kulikuwa na, before Odu started doing the marketing they're doing with the influencers, kulikuwa tuna their billboard and then there's Odu. So it seems very simple only that me kama sikuwa najua what Odoo is, but tunaweza pata pia it was their strategy, like we know it, tulikuwa na hiyo visual aspect ya hapa kuna kuanga na Odoo, and then we have the question of Odoo ni nini, then now they bring in the influencer campaigns. So I feel like that one is just Odoo, ama kama tu the Apple products vile unapatanga tu ni maybe iPhone 17 imekwa hapo,
Very simple.
and then something simple you're able to understand easily ama kupick. But tena kuna hiyo aspect ya they are doing that, they are that minimalistic because wamejenga brand yao.
Yeah. So unasema Odoo wako na audacity ya hierarchy, but ni sawa.
Hapana si hivyo. Like
I saw that billboard.
the simplicity ya Odoo.
It was purple background
And then white.
and then Odoo imeandikwa in white. That's it.
Okay. Sawa.
Usinikujie.
Nice.
Mwana dignity furnitures.
Is that?
Iko pia long Thika Road hapo karibu na
Sitaki anikujie. Chuck, tunaongelea sana zaidi ya graphics. Kwa industry ni huko ni sensitive sana. Any era kama unfortunately tume lose lives,
Kama South Sea.
condolences to the families. But tunaona hizo eras bado ziko. Do you feel it's intentional ama ni human error?
Yes, in engineering design and architectural design, there are basic principles that any designer while doing the masterpiece, inafaa consider before indulging in deep design of it. And majority, okay, the most one that you could ignore the material suitability and cost. Material suitability and cost. So if the designer will, while doing the set out for the, like we're building this infrastructure, the material selection, enough analysis are not been done on the materials that are selected to build this structure. Are they sustainable? Are they cost effective? Will they meet the required strength? So if we are designing a story building without considering the structural integrity in terms with the materials, like choosing the right materials which are cost effective, the guy would try. You have to consider you and skip the basic principle and skip while designing it. At the end of the design, they now start selecting the materials to be used. Then try to squeeze the cost, try to minimize cost as much as possible. So they go for the cost effective materials. Because the guy designed without considering that in the beginning. So they are now trying to put in the figures to at least to balance the construction cost. Then I'll go for compromise quality. So unapata ziko overstretched and they will fail. They will fail. That's why you can't compare designs that are infrastructure the back in the days with the modern ones. You'll find some designs, they were well thought of. The guys chose the right materials. They had designed this infrastructure to run for this, to serve people for this particular period of time. Like you are looking at, I'm designing as a product that will serve the individuals for 200, 300 years. Nishaeka paka lifespan yake juu I'm confident with the type of material I've selected. Because that was my first consideration. That was the basic scratch. Like I start with choosing the right material, which are cost effective. But if the designer they release the design without considering the lifespan and the type of the material they are going to use, hapo tunapatanga hiyo ni blunder design and in a lead to loss of lives, because now they went into the actualizing the design, the concept. The material was the last thing they considered while trying to squeeze the budget. Then people lose lives.
Amazing. So you ukifanya hizo mnafaa consider the material.
And yes, the material that's being used for the design. Is it strong enough? Will it withstand any?
So, I have a question.
Yes.
I was watching documentary Burj Khalifa. Burj Khalifa was supposed to go, I think, certain height. But when they already started the construction, the designer decided to extend to 80s today. And there has not been any faculty. So compare that to what happened the other day so was that intentional? Because it was supposed to go 12 floors, the one that happened in South Sea. Then you say at Ely and that's 16 floors.
16 floors, yes.
So was that intentional? They used the wrong material.
They consider the material as the last option. So they try to squeeze themselves in what material can be used to do this. Like, it was not literally stated very well that before we actualize this design, this is the material consideration. And the design is required to get to this level. So the material consideration we've selected, we've squeezed ourselves so that we minimize the cost. So we choose the optimum. We go to the top of the bar graph, consider that we're going to build 12 levels. Let's look for the most cost-effective material for 12 levels. So any level you are going to add, that now we have to go back to the drawing board now again. Because this material is to choose the top of the graph for these levels. So I would say it's intentional. If the materials are not considered in the first process, in the first stage before actualization of the actual project, if you don't choose the materials right, or if you change the design at the end, you change the design. For instance, the designer, may wash his hands. I've designed a structure for 12 levels, and these are the materials I recommend. Then as a developer, you see, I need some extra cash. This thing can go to 16. Then I see I don't need to consult the designer for this.
Yeah,
this is something I can do on my own.
So whoever extended from the 12th floor to 13 to up, that was intentional.
Yes.
Yeah.
They cut off the designer completely from that. Because that means the design will have to go back to the drawing board and start again. No. We see designer. Because construction business, you got a lot of people involved. The big team. So if you cut any member of the team, that means you'll be compromised. This is a place where everybody has to be on the same table. We discuss, we agree on the same thing. You cut any member of the team, the actual objective of the project or the design, the first architecture and visualize won't be achieved.
Yeah, amazing.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, if the designer had a final, let's say this building is supposed to go, let's say 10 floors, and then they are supposed to, you as the owner of the project, you want to extend it, or you want to change the whole design. Let's say mlikuwa mmeanza mmefika, let's say floor number 5, and then you discover, wait a minute, building ikikaa hivi, it should be better if it looked differently. Do you now contract the designer again? And then you said you have to consider the materials. Now you want to shift the design. Is there a point in time that you'll have to demolish the whole thing because the design you want to go for now is not, the materials are different?
Okay, so in architectural engineering design, because the cost implication is hefty, it's very heavy. So it's never recommended that you change the design in the middle of the session. You have to agree as a team that this is what we're going to do. Everybody on board, the architects, the engineers, the contractors, everybody. We agree, we study all the drawings. That's why the drawings must be there first. For the Engineering Board of Kenya and Architectural Board of Kenya to approve them. So we approve the design first before actualization.
Yeah.
We all understand all the materials that are going to be used. We are all conversant on the same page. Any alteration in between or when the project has begun, that's a heavy cost implication. Even considering bringing down a whole building, then building it afresh, that's something I never thought of. You should never think of in an engineering project.
But
so design should be you should all finalize on the design first. All the basics to be considered, cost and material wise, and timelines. Because timelines is also another factor, because this project, it will start delivering once it's complete. So we all rushing to complete the project so it starts paying us. So design alteration midway should and will never be a consideration. We must agree first.
So I have a question. When the entire team is sitting down, there is no point whereby anyone can just have a question whereby like unauliza, what if we've been approved for 12 floors? What if given a chance, there's a chance it can be approved later on? Maybe let's say 5 years, or someone maybe can go back and say, is there a possibility we can extend it from 12 to 16? So hakuna msio kaa chini akasema like, let's utilize the strongest material you can find, that even later on when someone consider of extending from 12 to 20 or 30, it can be possible.
So as I said,
Before you say that, let me answer you based on what I know. On a Burj Khalifa,
Mm.
you know, like it's taller downwards than upwards. So
Taller downwards kiaje?
going to the ground.
Yani kutoka kwa mguu kwa magoti.
Yes, it's deeper as in imeenda basements. Basements kadhaa kuliko imeenda.
Acha uongo.
Design engineers here.
Uongo. But Burj Khalifa had a problem of sand. So what they did is they had to drill. You can attest that if you've seen I've seen the whole documentary.
Yes.
Burj Khalifa is so heavy in a way that if kama wange consider using a way advanced technology or applying some other technology,
Yes.
it could have sunk inside. Because sand mostly sand huwa unajua vile inakuanga. Ukibuild sand, as you go up, as it is, the building sinks. So they had to drill the concrete paka kwa nini inaitwangaje?
hard rock.
Kwa the hard rock. They had to drill several nini. That's why ndo wakaanza sasa kuunda nini basement wakipanda juu.
Yes, now that one comes.
Ndio anasema sana ni refu kwenda chini.
No, it's not.
So if the foundation as when you started, if the foundation is not that okay, ukianza kufanya adjustments zingine, itabidi tena mkaa chini.
That's why nimeuliza in a way that when you're building, the whole team is sitting.
Yes.
The building bado ijaanza kujengwa.
Yes.
So hakuna mtu ulizanga like in 5 years, is there a possibility we can extend this building? That's why tukianza kubuild this foundation,
Yes.
we have to make it as strong as possible as a hold several. Ukiongeza hata floors kama 5 juu, it will still hold.
Oh, so you have not started.
You have not started.
So
Ni kama there's this kuna building inakuanga hapo hivyo coast ya Buru, mahali taski zilikuanga. Your building, I think it was some certain floors, but wakati taskis walitoka, the entire building had to be remodified. Saizi imeongezwa several floors hapa. I think sijui kama mmeona.
yes,
Yeah.
ila tao.
So
Yes, this look, okay, for any construction project, the architect is on top, the architectural designer. The client comes to the architect and says, we want to build a building or a restaurant, a residential commercial building. We are looking at providing these services and these services. Can you design us something? So the architecture will sit down and design. Yeah? But now the clients will come and say, the current financial muscle we have, I can be able to only take us 3 levels, but I want you to design it in a way, like it started from the brief. Like I want you to design it a way that in the future, I can add a quite a fixed number, not random. Like you see, we mess up with 2 floors, the one thing comes down.
yeah.
Like I'll compare, yes, I'll add 7 levels. I want to add 7 levels by this year. So you, as a designer, as the architect, as the engineer, I shall brief, I shall compare. This building will be expanded in the future. But as at now, the financial muscle we have, we can manage 3 levels. So in the original brief, I shall brief. So as the designer, as the architect, as the engineer, you go down designing a building. You visualize, you think of it as 14 levels. I'm designing a structure at 14 levels, no matter what pace it will be built. But the foundation, the way it comes from the ground, in mind, I've designed a structure that will accommodate 14 levels. Even though we'll be building 2 levels per year, two, So it starts from the original brief.
Yeah,
This
ideation.
Yes, ideation stage. Alteration mid stage or mid project. That's something you.
So by the end of the day, what happened is I would see it was intentional.
Yes.
Exactly.
What was intentional?
And a few people were cut off from the food chain.
It was intentional because some people were cut off, like the original architects. Is in speculation. Original architect alikuwa cut off, and then developer akaona naweza tengeneza pesa mingi, wewe niambia 12.
Yes.
I can reach 16. Yeah. Akaongeza more floors.
Haiwezi kuwa client alitaka
Any can be client.
So the client yes, that are automation, but yeah,
Client and developer wewe.
Client and developer. The client is the developer.
Yeah.
Field yetu mnafilaje? Like, do people know basics? Ama the mtu anajuanga tu Canva alafu anaingia into design.
Maybe because of the developer and the same majority of the designers would have been another basics. Basics is one you see like Chakuri is saying, like you need to know like the people around you. Civil engineer and everyone else. And the materials are supposed to be used. So you find a client amekuja anataka website. Alafu unatafuta designer akuuliza unatumia hata language gani, probably unatumia WordPress. WordPress is limited than React. Yeah, designer amekutengenezea kitu tunaweza implement na React. But you as a developer ulikuwa unaona user atakuwa anatumia hiyo systems good to use with WordPress, because WordPress iko na functionalities zenye si lazima developer design from scratch, develop from scratch. Except kupatia design hiyo kazi anakupatia React. Sasa inabidi umerudi kwa drawing board, muongea na designer. Sasa si designer asha design, alafu namwambia hii hizi work.
Ndio maana unafaa muongeleshe before the design starts. Si tukifunzwa basics. Hakuna penye tunaambiwa to consider tech stack. Tumeenda kutumia mwenyewe experience.
Alafu hakuna developer tunaamini anatumia WordPress. They build from scratch. So you have to be specific by the way. Mimi natetea our designers. You have to be specific, mwambie natumia WordPress. And I need this and this. It's limited in terms of flexibility. You just design something I can implement into WordPress. But si tunajuanga ukitaka kitu, you're sitting down from scratch and coding.
Yeah.
But now you see like now the designer hajaget hiyo nini anatengeneza kwanza. Juu umempatia amekuwa na meeting na client. Like anaangalia in the long term. Alafu napata aingiani literally. Sasa hapo naweza ambia designer.
Hapo sasa return back to drawing board. Na makosa pia ni yako. Mbona uko part of brief?
Sasa si designer afaa elewe end user na client.
Hapo ndo makosa yako.
Wewe unafaa kuwa engineer, you should be part of the brief. Tuko na check up. Akiwa na design hiyo structure ni client na involvement pia kuna wanaitwa stack kuita foreman.
Sama tu foreman.
Okay, the architect design, the engineer builds.
Engineer atakuwa involved in the process.
Yes.
They understand each other from the word go. Akisema tuende tunaenda. But wewe unataka work in a silo. Uletewe tu mockups za design.
But you see in the industry technology, architect ni kama sasa designer kwa nini kwa software. Yes. Like architect anaangalia hii nyumba inafaa itokee hivi. After shamaliza napatana na structural engineer na civil engineer. Civil engineer anasema nini anahitaji, nini structure pia anasema hiyo structure inaweza kuwa ama ikosa kuwa.
Sasa hapo una blame nani?
Yeah.
Una blame designer ama uta blame nyinyi wa mko tukua prepared kuambia client akimalizana na wewe as a client pia sisi tunafaa tuwe part of the brief, tumwambie exactly what we are going to build, the language, the environment hizo vitu zote.
Yes.
Kama ina PM,
Kama ina PM.
hizi vitu reja hapa zinaanga PM. Ni client ana kwa suggested uko na mtu anaweza fanya hiyo kazi, ana meet na huyo.
So in my field, there's always a big drift between the architect and the engineer. So the architect and the client, they always hand in hand because the client who likes visual. They are shown what they want.
Iko kila field.
Yes, they'll see 3D models of the entire structure. And they're like, "This is what I want. This is beautiful." But now I did the actualization itself. Now this is another profession that comes into the actualization. If you sit in a round table, it will tell you now this part can, this part can't.
Mm-hmm.
You have to now readjust it before the actualization. Before once it starts rolling, there's no alteration stopping.
Unajua inakubalika kwa industry yenu juu ni very critical. Sisi yetu haina hiyo kitu.
Hata kama haina hiyo kitu, mind designers wanekana design zao kwa roho.
Wewe wenyewe umemeet. Mose ulikuwa na yake ya kusema.
Away from all that, using logic. By the end of the day, everyone needs to be on the table when everything starts.
Yes.
So that everyone can be on the same page. Because there's no way utaniambia like maybe ni designer or developer. Maybe designer client asema wow, nice. Alafu apelekee Mariga miwani zikuwe za black, ashangae hizi ni vitu gani hizi? So if we are all on the same page, me or the designer or the developer, we discuss, we do what is possible, what is not possible. Ila hata mimi kienda nikikaa chini kianza ku-design, by the end of the day najua like this is the limit I can go.
Yeah. From Mariga story, unaona ni kama from Mariga story I'm reading, Mariga ndiye meet client kwanza. Wakaongelea about the project. And then maybe Mariga akamwambia no, we need a designer.
Yeah.
Client akaenda akatafuta designer. Ama Mariga akatafuta designer akamconnect na client without Yoko involved. So the problem ni nani?
Sasa Mariga ndio fala. How do you look for a designer? You connect the designer with the client. And you, by the end of the day, you know very well you need to be in the loop. Whatever they're going to discuss, you also need to have the knowledge of that.
Now you see, those are the basics that the designers miss.
Skia. Juu, when you developer, so when you utafuta designer,
Yes.
you could have briefed the designer. So you tell the designer, anything you're going to discuss, make sure you're keeping me in the loop.
It's the same.
Or, yeah, exactly. Ama uende uambie client ndio designer nimekuja naye. Let's start discussing the project. Kwani what is hard in that? Au miwani zilikuwa zimepotea?
Basics developers skill.
Basic developers. Who comes first?
Inategemea. Client okay, according to Kenyans industry.
Yes.
Watu ndio wameanza ku appreciate kuna designer, especially UI UX. Wanajua nikitaka website nenda kwa developer. Nenda kwa developer. They don't look for designers. The developer atamchanua mwambie nowadays things are not done that way. You have to look for a designer. Mkae naye chini. A design whatever you want. Actualization ni kama field ya kina chapa. 3D. So kwetu ni mock-up. This is the mock-up of the website. Are you satisfied? Yes. Now we can push it to engineer. So it's your work as engineers to keep shouting and saying there are people in the middle called UI UX designers.
Yes.
That you need to approach first. But before you approach them, we have to be a team. I also have to put my sentiments on what we want to execute. Which language are we using? Honestly, designers wengi wajaenda shule, they don't know that you got to be language, acha ni design juu.
True.
Huyu atatumia React ama sijui. Client anataka website yenye click hapa unaenda kwa nini inaitwaje? Checkout.
Yes.
Checkout, you pay. You pay, you receive a confirmation. Simple as that.
But do you now agree with me? Like designers wanafaa waelewe hivyo. Ni kama kwa hiyo naita ni products zitatumika jenga.
Yes, nakubali. Kama client ameniapproach mimi wa kwanza, what I always do, I always tell them, do you have an engineer?
Yes.
You're making his point for him though.
Do you have an engineer in space? Akisema yes, namwambia I would love to get to know what the engineer's input is in this, what they envision. Okay, pamoja is discussed as one. Because najua tantrums ya developers inakuwa mbaya sana. At least kwa kina hii field ya kina Chuck you can mitigate juu is very critical. Building hizi anza alafu mnaanza kuchange vitu. But in our field vitu zinafanywa kijua kali. In a way where you begin the designs zinapelekwa kwa developers, client anakuja anaanza kuchange brief. Unapea developer anachukua tantrums.
Iko kitu normal.
You're a spoiled brat.
Yeah, so if it's me, I'll speak for myself. I don't know if other designers are doing it.
Yes.
Client can approach, I always ask them that question first.
But you see now, you as a designer, you ask for the engineer.
Yeah.
Most of the designers don't ask for the engineer.
Wewe umetumia most wangapi?
Nimetumia designer, nimekuwa na designers wengi. So unapata designer anachukua kazi, wana interact na client, wanacheka wanamaliza, wanaona site iko sawa, alafu wanaletea.
Sema tushantel hapo.
Sijiongelele. Alafu after that, sasa kama engineer sasa analeta on board, anaambiwa he is working based on the end user requirements.
Mose yako kwa ayuko into the field, yaguza developer sana.
Actually, I wanted to talk about their field. Just to, in addition to your point, graphic designers wakiamua kufanya kazi. Na Valentine, you'll be back me up on this. They need to make sure social media, the marketers work around your branding, right?
Yeah.
So it cuts across.
Ushai get your challenge Mose yenye ni packaging alafu sijui kama field yako iko na hiyo kitu. Like do you have to go to wase wanafanya hizo printing and everything to confirm ama you just design the package unaituma?
Package mostly it usually goes when it comes to execution. You can design any package, but when it comes to execution, that's where the problem is. First, you start from the factory. How fast can you pack? Then later on, it comes to the user.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, people want the user to feel nice. Unaonanga vile unafungua either iPhone ama unbox
experience.
iPhone ama that experience. So all that you need to put into consideration.
Yeah.
Juu ukienda ikifika kwa factory or the factory line, how maybe unapata nowadays factory lines watu wengi wamekuwa reduced.
Yeah.
Wezi pata kaa before unapata almost 100 people on the same lines yet on the same thing. Yeah. So unapata most of the time nowadays unapata it's just a few people. Unapata pengine watu 4 ama 5 kwa line.
Yeah.
So how they're going to open the package, put in the product, and then close it, then pass it to the next person to glue and do everything. That is something that you put into consideration. But mostly this one usually comes after ushamaliza kufanya design. Then you start doing it's like prototyping. You send it to suppliers. When you wanna they send you a dummy boxes, then you share with the client. Then the client atapeleka kwa factory ya confirm kama packaging iko sawa, kama the production inatoshea, then arudishe kama kuna any changes, then atakwambia we had these difficulties. Ikifika time ya kufungua kulikuwa na difficulty time ya kupack the product, pengine iko inakaa vizuri, then from there you do some changes. Yeah. For advantage ya packaging is as much as you started with certain guideline, it can change. Before you get to the final product, now this one can go to the market.
Yeah.
In between, you can change. That is the advantage of packaging.
It's not kama in like the construction, you can't change in between.
You never change. But as long as you approve the final, then ishingia your market, that's it. Unless maybe the next production of which kunda dye tena is expensive. So you have to incur the cost of creating new dyes because you've changed the dye line here and here.
In future, if you want to rebrand, kama vile Del Monte, their boxes size may change.
I think for them, they won't incur the cost for dye line. They will incur the cost of cylinders.
Oh.
Which also it's expensive creating kunda cylinders. Unless kama wanafanya na flexo.
Ni ile ya kuweka ile kijana na gas. Unaona mtu Val, ni industry yako.
Cylinder ukienda kwa mostly printing firms, wachana hizi hata hizi small printers ziko na cylinders, but hizi cylinders zao ni ndogo. So ukienda kwa hizo large printing firms, kuna kuanga na cylinders na wana engrave. So tuseme ni kama mostly zinakuwa engraved the text. I think I'll stencil. So it's just a metal plate, one engrave hizo text.
So for mass production, it's like punch, pa.
Asa inazunguka tu. So when it comes to printing, mostly nowadays they usually use cylinders. And cylinders na konga za nini za flexibles. Flexibles ni hizi ma papers. Unajua T-bag ile yenye inakonga nayo nini. So hiyo nini yake juu, that's a flexible. Zinaitwanga flexibles. Si hiyo T-bags zinakujanga ziko enveloped T-bags. Hizo ziko enveloped.
Yes.
So hizo nini yake hiyo ndio inaitwanga hizo ndio flexible.
Val, ukifanya designs za anything to do with marketing, wewe una request for hiyo kama uko na team ya marketing, like designs before finding, do you request for sit down with marketing team kama uko nayo, ama unaangalia hido ikifanya hii job by Tuesday itakuwa na. Do you consider that?
Okay, I'd say with my experience as of now, I'm fortunate that the first client niliwork na yeye kwa design, like I was in the organization, nilikuwa nashikilia, I was part ya social media na bado nilikuwa nafanya that project. So nikaa mimi ndio nilikuwa
briefcase ya company.
So before getting that gig, nilikuwa nimework na wao, so I already knew this is what they like, brand guidelines nini, so I didn't start from scratch. So bado sijafika hiyo point ya kusema no, let's see to the marketing team. But from the point Mariga mentioned, na pia what he mentioned, having the team at the table, I think that's very important. Kwa sababu pia Jack said, like for me as a designer, nikuwa na like a proper brief. Because I feel like now that's another mistake that designers ignore. Let me say graphic designers. Like juu umepata gig, now you're excited. Ama ukisoma contract umefika hapo tu kwa pesa, unaona iko sawa, kaende. But you don't request like for proper brief. So wewe unaenda unafanya vitu zako, unakuja unaambia design zako hazina soul.
But sorry to cut you, but issue ni most design school, they teach the basics of design, they don't teach the business part. Yeah. So unapata like mimi kitoka chuo siko wajua company do have brand guidelines, they have brand identity. You siko ifunzo. Me was just taught the basic of design. Kutumia software, that's it. So unapata like most of the designers, they don't know the entire pipeline of dealing with well-established nini. Unapata pengine designer wa sema river road na yako imeingiliwa sana. Okay, sa designer wa river road. So designer wa river road, yeah, brand guidelines ni nini?
Yes.
Yeye ajo umletea hapo hivi afungue Corel, a design akupatie. That's it.
So unasema uniform.
I don't kiangalia like mostly like today tukipelekea ukipata any designer from town, for those who will understand that those who won't. Wambie, I need you, I've given you this, I need you to design me a post, then here's my brand guideline. A few will use the brand guidelines because and I usually pity most designers. If any company gives you brand guideline, everything is there. You don't have even to think outside the box. It makes your work easier.
You already have the box. You're thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Juu utapata like for a well-established company, same like Safaricom, kwa brand guideline iko na kila kitu. Iko hadi how you need to design a poster, how you need to design a social media post. Like it has all way to is just to look and put it here.
Yeah.
I just change just a few things. Wako na colors, wako na fonts, wako na yani. Use just implementing what you've already been given.
Crazy.
Still on that point, hapo sikuwa nimemaliza. So naweza sema for me I was fortunate that penye nilisoma our tutor was alitufunza the
Business of design.
alianza na the basics na aki-emphasize on the basics, and then pia we had sessions za design as a business, so we were able to kukuwa na hiyo broad perspective, but najua si kila mtu as you said, but pia ni kama tu vile tulikuwa tunaambia sijui high school you study, the teacher will sijui funza you 25% ama 15%, the rest you do yourself, because I feel pia in graphic design vitu zina change kama sa even with AI there's a lot, so and then there's a lot pia kwa mtandao that if mtu anataka, you don't have to remain rigid. Now that's another mistake. Unabaki tu rigid, ulifunzwa Photoshop hivi, and now being that rigid, AI kikuja hautaki kuchange, hautaki
kutumia Canva.
No, like you remain rigid, so that's another point. Isipokuwa the first one ilikuwa your part ya brief, like you don't ask the right questions.
Yeah.
And pia to understand, I read something somewhere that hata si somewhere online, ukipata gig, like you're supposed to immerse yourself in the client's business ndio uelewe, so that usikuwa na hiyo back and forth.
Yeah.
And then still on that point, yeah, back and forth pia another mistake ni especially tusiwaite freelance, tuwaite contractors. Kwa your contract you make a mistake of not stating how many revisions, like unaiacha tu open at a client leo atamka aseme I want to change this, so I feel like it's very important kusema you only allow up to 2 revisions. After that it's you charge because now you'll mtashinda mchange na mrudi tu penye mlikuwa, so that's like another mistake of not stating clearly, like upper revisions, this is the max I can do. After this, if you want more revisions, now you pay extra for that.
Interesting idea. Mko na revisions?
Yes.
Revision. Kwa revision.
When you do yourself with the brief. So without proper briefing, that means revisions itakuwa immense.
So
the reason why we need to be briefed properly to minimize brief. For my case, if I'm doing a private design for a client, I'll give him a maximum of 2 revisions. Then we start with 0 in the beginning of the agreement.
Lakini utanifanyia 5.
With the proper brief you've given me, I'll give you 1 conceptual design, the next one 2 revisions max. Because now they would go sleep anaona kitu wenyewe nataka hii hapa paka hivi nini. Then another thing I've realized from whatever we've been discussing in design, the final user, the user experience, the final user, like the designer put the consideration of the user in the beginning. Like, how will the user navigate through this?
User's shoe.
Yeah. So the final user experience. If I'm designing a community, I'm designing a real estate. For instance, I'm in Tattoo City. I'm designing a live, work, and play. That's the theme. So an institution where you live, you work, and you play. So we have, like, I've envisioned myself as the use of the place, the estate.
Or a KPS.
Yes, like you put yourself as the user of the estate. He has kids, they need to go to school, it needs to go to shopping, it needs to go to eat, it needs to go to work. Like all the user experience within the design. That should come in the beginning. So that's something maybe the designer might ignore, like putting themselves in the user's shoe.
On a skip, yeah.
Like we were struggling to deliver the products and the timelines without testing how the user will feel. So like, maybe naitanga user experience ama nini. So mimi kwangu naitanga how the user will, how actually the building will be used.
And end product.
The end product will be used. So if I'm designing a Tattoo City, it's like you live, work, and play. Like you may consider how literally I'm picturing myself as a guy moving to Tattoo City. Maybe I'm working with one of the big companies. So that's have a workplace there. Then I've moved with my family. They need to play somewhere, to stay somewhere. Yes, they need have designer residence that's ideal for them. I have kids. They need to go to school. Why should they get to school very far? But this an estate that has been designed for live, work, and play. I need to go shopping. I need to access this. So does this user really need to get out of this estate at the end of the design? Is the estate self-sufficient for the user?
Yeah, good point.
So the consideration of the final user. Yes. Then it might also feel another thing that the users also ignore in engineering design is the maintenance. Yes, we've gone into a discussion with the client, we have agreed that yes, I want to build a multi-use infrastructure. We'll have residential, commercial centers in the same locality. Yes, but so we're building the original design. They are going to expect the final. Atakuwa to the finals. When you architecture, I'm taking a 3D models. This view from your window. These trees will be there. Nini. Ameshamuonyesha. But sasa maintenance. After I'm done with you now, with contract is to tumemaliza, deliver my job. Then I notice the guy I'll make you building, it's very hard for me to maintain it. In some places are even inaccessible. I can't access them. Nikitaka kufanya adjustment kukiwa na leakage in a piping, maybe the piping and air conditioning, nikitaka to make adjust, I've discovered that the guy ameweka those conduits and accessories in the places that I can't even access.
I just made the net system in Nairobi as an example.
Yes, another thing. So yes, the maintenance of the infrastructure, maintenance of the system, maintenance of the project. So while the designer was being briefed, I'll have to consider if building kisha hand over to these guys, how will they keep it the way it is? That means you'll be frequently repainting, floor, reworking on the walls, maybe kukiwa na leakages, drainage. Drainage is another thing. Like kukiwa na blockages, how will they manage it? Where are the septic tanks located? Which is the nearest municipal drainage system? So what if there's a blockage? What if the municipal drainage system is overwhelmed? Will the flow come back to my structure and overwhelm the structure? Like such stuff.
It cuts across, I think.
So design, it cuts across the fields and the criteria is the same.
Azikwangi na valve.
So tunasema maintenance. Kama the designer may consider that how this product will be maintained. For instance, if I've done a few projects in the fuel industry, jet fuel in the airports, we've been doing plumbing for fuel tanks, where jets to become refuel, and that's flammable stuff and dangerous items. So while considering that, we're considering maintenance and basic emergency procedure, just in case something happens. How can I evacuate this building? How if there's a bomb in this building, how the users of the building will be multi-story and there's so many, how will they move around if in case of emergencies?
Yeah.
If the lift system fails.
Nilikuwa naona lift system ya Burj Khalifa. Shit is crazy. Kuna lift moja, it's just highway ile emergency. Just in case kukikonga na nini, kukiwa na fire, wasema do not use lift, use stairs. So imagine someone from uko juu atatumiaje stairs paka chini.
Sasa imagine kifani unaona kama ukiona lift system imetoka kwa historia ya trains kama ya Burj Khalifa, unaona like venye na work kutoka kwa venye trains ziwa. Unaona train inakuja this time, is another train that comes on this time. There's a train that passes like
express.
Nini system ya Burj Khalifa is just crazy.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We are proudly sponsored by Nafasi Connection, an amazing co-working space. Kama umechoka na kufanya kazi kwenye wafanya kazi, possibly it's at home, possibly watu kwa ofisi wamekupo, you tell them you want to work remotely, unakuja Nafasi, wako na closed offices, wako na pia an open office, wako na amazing Wi-Fi speeds, I repeat, amazing Wi-Fi speeds that don't shut down, wako na schema backup pia.
Chenye alikuwa anaongelea unapata vitu zingine ni za miss the same way yenye mimi naongelea, mimi lazima niingilie today.
Basi niingilie.
Hauna bwana.
I'm straight.
Unapata designer ametengeneza whole site like it's even if it's an application unamaliza, alafu hakuna adatengeneza page ya 404.
404.
Yes,
404 pages.
Yeah, we do.
exactly. Lazima unapata mtu adatengeneza vitu kama hizo, ndio designers wa kusahau pia.
Yeah, I have a rant. Tulikuwa tunaongelea the lift system, right? Emergencies. In case of emergencies, how do you leave the building? Tumeenda the piano. Let's zikufika. As in, people see they are doing that thing. Kuna mtu anacheza kwa switch. Lazima.
No.
2 seconds inawaka. Niambia, mimi na lift. Niko ndani. Tulikuwa watatu. Tukaamua kutumia stairs. Do you know tulipotelea kwa stairs? Hata mimi haikunimekia sense because stairs inafaa kwa like the most basic thing before to implement lift. But sasa tunaingia, tuna notice tumepotea. Tukifungua mlango, it's not even a floor, it's a basement, it's a ward.
Sayuni.
Meza 9.
That was even fungua, it fungua from this side na fungua from. Yo.
By the actually I've realized mostly buildings at house iko na shida. There's one building niliingia kwenda 5th floor, stairs iko huku. So unapanda siji paka 3rd floor. Kitoka 3rd floor unaenda paka huko mwisho. Ndio pale tena nini ya kupanda juu kwenda 5th floor. How do these guys design these buildings in Nairobi?
Sasa hiyo ile client alisemanga venye naonelea tunafaa tuongelee floors 2 juu. Na hii floor nyingine amko umecounter for stairs. Hata hii floor, hata hizi stairs tunapeleke huko.
So hii stairs ilikuwa ifika hapa ilikuwa imefungwa.
Yes.
So yes, such instances. Okay, for design, architectural design is just like graphic design. Okay, the designer will strive to avoid monotony, and at least try to move things here and there for aesthetics and for
Shine.
yeah, it's the same for contrast. Yes, you don't want to create a whole structure. So at the same this from level 1 to 6 will be using the left wing of the stairs. Tukifika lift lobby level 5, we'll move to this other side. He maybe anajaribu to manage crowds, like a group of many people using the stairs at one instance.
But for stairs, since you imagine in a situation whereby there is fire on 5th floor or 6th or 8th floor, stairs are supposed to be the basic. Mtu najua nikishika hii niko floor.
Unajua je building kuna parachutes?
building za Nairobi.
Unachukua unavaa
Ama if you are trying to put in some design, okay, but make sure you direct people, make it as simple as possible. Najua nikitoka huku hivi, nikishika hii njia, napata stairs ingine ya kushuka chini.
That's another thing, basic item that we in engineering architectural design ignore is simplicity. Like you make the design simple for the client and for the user. It's easy peasy, like it's equally general knowledge for the user. And to me, then that's why we came up with engineering standards. And the standards for any lift. Look, they were written, there are rules now. These guys wrote rules. They gave standards for everything. That's why we take drawings for approval, because there are rules. There are rules on how this stair should be designed, the lift lobby should be, corridor, how wide the corridor should be to allow for emergencies. These standards were made considering the user.
Stairs za Nairobi. Niliona mwingine alikuwa anahamia 5th floor. Vitu zinabebwa kutoka na nje zipande na stairs.
Yes. Sasa unaona consider the user, like we look at the bag so much as the owner of the structure. Like I will look for how to minimize costs. So one of the factors of minimizing costs is reducing the intricate of the design. So making the design simpler to reduce cost. Then another thing, shrinking the design from the normal standard allowable sizes. So they will have sizes for standard corridor, standard room size, But also due to cost constraints, the guy now starts shrink the design. Meaning at a move from standard balcony size to custom made balcony, standard staircase thread height, standard staircase width to custom staircase to meet the cost constraint. Here the final user are nowhere in the mix in the design.
But min kona swali. This building, mostly building constructions in Nairobi. The new was the plans zinapelekonga kwanza for approval.
Yes.
So unapata like, given an example, as to me place nyinyi na stay. Place nyinyi na stay, we are about around 50 to 70 people in that building. It might be less, I'm not sure. So you have to make sure that niko na floor tano. So 50 to 70 people, these are a lot of people.
Yes.
So you need to make sure that the stairs, mtu mwenye atoka 5th floor, hizi building hazina lift. Mtu mwenye atoka 5th floor, wote wakitoka pamoja kuna fire. Ama sijui kuna tremor ya earthquake. Watu wakitoka mbio, so watu utakanga wote at once. Let's say it's around 8 p.m. Most unapata like almost 70% to 80% watu washarudi. So kuna watu tremor, watu wametoka. So hakuna msee kwa mwenyewe ana approve your plan. Kwani wapigangi hesabu like hizi stairs, if there's such event, it will be catastrophic.
Yes, people will die.
People will die. Yeah, exactly. Because me, I don't care mwenye nitakanyaga. Me, as long as me nimefika chini nimetoka nje. It's my life first, not yours.
So, in my field,
Jack, before you talk about it, based on that, here and depend na plant amepena pesa here.
That's why I say in my field, integrity. Because it's a field where a lot of money is invested in terms of developing it. Yeah. The approvals. Those people who are in charge of now providing approvals, those who are in charge of now inspection, coming to literally come on site and inspect this project coming or meet all the standards. That means fire protection, safety, and the end user. So those institutions were formed to protect the user. Now, with the developers, the user comes the least in terms of their considerations. They're the one that returns. But now the approvals organization, the board in charge of approvals and inspection. Now that's now the board that was formed to represent now the user, to at least come and be on the side of the user. For any design, for any engineering design or architecture design, this board comes now to inspect to see will the end user literally get the benefits from this structure? Will they really be served well? But now, if their integrity is compromised, like now they are corruptible. See, now people will start being now rolling structures here and there because they are the body in charge of representing the user is compromised. That's why you find very weird building styles and designs that have been approved, and you're like, whoa, a guy just made this entire structure without even a window.
Nakuta choo iko kwa stairs.
Another one, ameteka choo, unapitia tena choo nione balcony ya nyuma. Ya kichoo iko na milango mbili, mlango mbele.
Eza tamani kutengio Kenya.
They were looking at the real returns from the project because now it is hefty cost. The returns need to be quick, but that's where they sideline the user very bad. They will put the user at the least. But now the organization, the authority in charge of providing the actual licenses and inspection, we come at least to represent the user. Make sure that this thing at least will serve the user. Will get the value for the money. So in architecture design, engineering design, when the user is least considered, that's when if the user is asked to give the ratings for the entire stay, unaweza rate aje nyumba umekaa. Anaweza peana rating nyingine poa mbaya sana, vibaya.
After South Sea, there was one guy for construction like almost 80% of Nairobi buildings are just unsafe.
Unsafe? Yes,
80% of buildings in Nairobi is never called South Sea.
It's very true. I've seen it from experience. Unapata you see hizo chuma zinatumia kutenza pillars. Pata chuma inafaa kwa this standard. But sasa msana anajenga like 12 mm.
Yeah, it's a good detail.
Yes, like 12 mm for pillar. Unapata msana anachukua ndio anataka kupunguza cost of production na si wewe developer tuseme foreman anachukua 10 mm ama 8 mm. No. Sasa maanisha hii building haitakuwa to standard the way it was.
Pengine amenunua titanium.
Asi titanium, mwezi nunua titanium. Bado kama titanium mnapo hiyo diameter at least. Ndio building iko strong.
No, yes, we said in the beginning the choice of the material. So yes, in our design, in the original design, to design building in a meet standards. Tutapeleka approval tumesema we'll be using this particular material, this and this and this and this. Imeshapita approval, tumepigiwa stamp. Sasa imekuja sasa actualization. Actually sasa now we're going to buy the material. So nasema nilikuwa nimesema we are going to use this size of reinforcement bars for the column. But there's a diameter that's closer to that diameter and it's cheaper than what we had put in the approvals, the material which to present for approvals. So kama nimesema nitatumia D12 ama nitatumia D16, sasa naenda buy 14 while per 12 ana substitute na 10. Kama ni we are using steel. For instance, JK and many buildings are built with a steel skeleton, not concrete, not that we are pouring concrete. We do steel. So steels normally come with thicknesses. So if it's a pipe, it's a pipe column, you would see the thickness it has because it's already built. Hata ukitunga upime, you would get how thick it is. Maybe ukigonga, but yes. So the guy amesema kwa approval, amesema I'll be using a 10 mm thick pipe. That's heavier. It will hold a lot of strength. Then asema 10 na 6 mami hakuna difference sana kubwa between 10 and 6. But the designer alikuwa optimize the design yake. So we have tools to optimize designs. Tools that will do analysis and give you the optimal. So it recommend 10. It make sure if you use anything less than 10, the design is compromised.
Hakuna mtu wa board anakuja.
So there are people if the board that is in charge of representing the end user is compromised in terms of integrity. That's why we have these anomalies. It itaji mtu inspection. So amekuwa represent the board and represent the user. Akuwe na good integrity na akuwe like Okay, I don't know. Corruption is a bad thing. It's a vice. It's a vice. So when it comes to infrastructure and
I
building,
had to say corruption is a culture.
It's a price.
Yeah, so sorry to cut short. Tukimalizia because of time. Mi naona like easy basics na apply across the field. Because the things you're mentioning in design are usually the same things. So I'm a value unaona like contrast. There's also one thing I've learned, and I think every designer should learn from any field you're from. When you're giving a client a brief, make sure you have room and space for maintenance. You need maintenance of the building. You need maintenance of the platform, come on your website, app, or anything. Make sure you are giving him or them that room, that space. If you come to Mose, I think you also need to give them room for maintenance. The product might come when you come a package, na issue. So how do you space yourself to ensure that utakuwa hapo consistently improving it? Even when it comes to graphics and marketing, you need to maintain the brand. Because vitu zina change, vitu vichenjanga.
Vitu vikolapsanga.
Yeah. But Jack, you've been an amazing guest. Thank you so much for making time.
I appreciate it.
Imekuwa. Yeah, please.
Notice any alternate designers aina tofauti as a developer. So inamaanisha if your design is not working for the user, then you did a shitty job.
Yeah.
Yes.
Agree.
Based on that, like you see, what I've come to learn is these things are not taught in school. Like what designers miss, like the designers mistake. Nyinyi wote, nani ako na intern hapa? Nyinyi wote. And then how you should like Funzi, how do you give forward that?
I think kwanza hiyo ni point. For your business of design is what is naona ni gap that needs to be addressed. Yeah.
Jamani, masterclass. Masterclass. Tutalia.
Anyway, hiyo iko kwa docket ya amazing things that are coming this year from our amazing co-host hapa.
Founder and
CEO.
I have a little something to say.
Yeah.
I think it's justice to shout out Joseph Cairo, the tutor who taught me, because we were a class of about 9, and he covered that. Hata kuna like specific lessons alikuwa anasema, come with all the questions you have, I'll answer, because pia he's a graphic designer. Apart from teaching, pia ni graphic designer. He's ati mwalimu anafunza business na hata ana business. So I think safe to say
Khalifa Cairo.
Joseph. Hapana. Joseph Cairo akitikia.
Yeah, to invite Akam atupe hizo my insights. The side. Chuck, anything?
So me for my case, design. Okay, design is an amazing phase of any product development, and sometimes the use of the product, one forget that on this the chain of the product of making this product, there was the idea design phase that a group of special skills were needed for the design phase before the real actualization.
Yeah,
and those are the real people who are in the kitchen in product development. These are literally the cooks. These are the chefs. If I put in a restaurant, these are the real people who cook the thing.
Yeah.
Not the farmer.
They cook in the bando. They cook the cocaine. Yeah, what is the check?
So design is an amazing phase of any product design and any product made, and the approaches and the basics cut across.
Agree.
It doesn't matter the field.
Yep. Agree.
The rules are the same.
Yep. Karibu tena. Tunataka more insights, tujue more about your industry. Tutakuwa tuna a special episode for you. But thank you guys for tuning in. It's been amazing to get to understand every field. Hapa tuko different designers. See, you founder hapa anafanya almost everything. But utampata kwa package, branding and everything. We have an amazing acha nisimwanike, but she's amazing. She's with us. I'm going to also marketing, graphic design, branding, and everything. I'm into product design. Chaka ako into engineering.
Like
Foreman.
So, yeah. So it's been amazing to understand that we are all connecting. There's a source of truth for all of us, which is the basics, na zinakuwa shared, cut across. Guys, that has been amazing. Please like, share, subscribe.
What
Yeah.
do you merchandise?
And we have merchandise. We have a special. Tuko na link ya merchandise where they can get.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. We're going to drop the link down there in the description. Please, if you are interested, click on that. Make a request. This year we're going to release more and more. We can even get to customize.
Yes.
But itakuwa ina align more.
And
Kuna pay bill hapa chini. Tusi struggle sana na microphones na mnaweza tuchangia 10 bob.
Great, amazing.
And for more insights, kuna link tena channel hapo chini. Kuna link ya channel. Also follow us on all social medias, Instagram, TikTok,
Spotify.
Facebook au Spotify. Facebook mlisema ni wazee, lakini reinforce tutakuwa tuko.
TikTok.
Yes.
Na siri ni kujituma.
Na usiogope
Usiogope kutuma quote.
Sarah.
Bye.